We're going to begin with a global outpouring of anger and shock over the brutality of Russia's war on Ukraine. Mass graves and bodies in the streets of Kyiv, the suburb of Bucha, tell a story of indiscriminate murder. Many world leaders are now calling it a war crime. Debora Patta and her crew traveled to Bucha to see for themselves the evidence of killings that Russia claims it's not responsible for. Debora joins us now from Kyiv. Debora, good morning to you. This is very tough to watch.
Good morning indeed. Russia has actually denied killing unarmed civilians, saying the deaths occurred after they'd left the area. But newly released satellite photos show bodies strewn across the town long before Russian troops bid a hasty retreat. And when we visited Bucha, we saw undeniable evidence of atrocities. We warn you, these images are disturbing.
This is what war crimes look like. Defenseless civilians shot in the head with their hands bound. Residents taking their last ride. Mass graves filled with the bodies of nearly 300 executed people. This couple thought they'd recognize their son's arm in one of them. It was not him. Their grim search continues. When we visited Bucha, we saw a trail of destruction and death. In a basement, we stumbled on the body of this man. He appears to have been blindfolded, hands tied behind his back, the rudimentary safety helmet he wears, no defense against a bullet to the head. Yuri saw Russian soldiers bring him here. They were taking him at gunpoint, he told us. Russian troops set up camp in a courtyard outside his apartment block, their presence still felt in the discarded beer bottles, empty munition boxes and overturned cars. On the first day of the invasion, Russian paratroopers spilled onto the tarmac at the nearby airport.
This is what's left of Hostomel Airport, where one of the most significant battles of this war was fought, preventing the Russians from taking it over.
It's an apocalyptic vision, the crumpled, melted frame of the world's largest plane, testament to the fierce fight that stopped Russian forces from setting up a supply line here. But it could not halt their invasion of nearby Bucha and the horror that followed. Tanya Nedashkivska found her dead husband in a pile of bodies at the foot of a basement staircase. I'm begging you to do something. Make peace so no one ever grieves again, she sobs. Everyone just wants to live. The tears of a widow demanding to be heard, imploring the world not to look away.
Gayle, and I need to point out that I'm really finding it hard to understand why questions have even been raised about the veracity of these terrible images. I've covered many conflict zones and witnessed some of the most brutal atrocities of this century. And frankly, Gayle, what I saw in Bucha is among some of the worst I've seen. I personally saw evidence of war crimes, and these stories can't be staged. And the overwhelming grief that I've witnessed, that just can't be manufactured.
You know, the thing that gets to me, Debora, we now say it so much about these images may be disturbing. This is tough to watch. We warn you. I worry that people get desensitized to it. But you see an image like that, the shot of the person on the bicycle, because we've all ridden bicycles. You see the person on the bicycle. You see the woman who is crying about her husband. We don't understand the language, but we certainly understand the emotion of what that woman was saying to us.
Indeed. And I think, you know, the issue here is that this is something we can relate to by, as you said, seeing that bicycle. Yes. And in some ways, we need to be disturbed by these pictures.
Yep, I agree with that, too.
Right.
As tough as it is, we have to tell this story. Debora Patta, we thank you. We thank you. Thank you.